going to do a scene-referred photo edit in Darktable. I'm in Darktable 4.6.1 and in Ubuntu Studio 24.04, but this should be similar with all of the newest Darktable versions, or not depending on which operating system you're using. So I've been using Darktable for years and years, but before it had only the display referred workflow, and I've used it and had my presets and things for years and been really happy with. But the last half a year or something like that, I've been trying out the scene referred workflow and reading the manual, a Darktable manual about it. I'm not really there yet that I could do the same things as I did with the display referred stuff. If you're interested, you look at my older Darktable videos where I show how I use the display referred workflow. I don't really know that much what's the difference, but as I understand, so scene referred tries to work with the native raw files, dynamic range and color, so it keeps a lot more of the information, and display referred the old way just works in the display space, so 8-bit or something, 10-bit. So there's a lot more information that the processing can handle in scene referred. So with the newer cameras with better dynamic range and better, just exponentially bigger amount of information, this scene referred should be something for now and for the future. So okay, so how to use the scene referred options. So you can change what modules are being shown here from this button. So you can play around with these and look what's different. So we're taking the workflow scene referred. So now we have only the modules that use scene referred. So that's the first thing. And a bit about this photo. This is shot with the Panasonic Lumix G80 or G8 or 85 or 81 depending on your region. So an old macro four thirds camera with a 16 megapixel sensor. So this isn't the most demanding or the best example for scene referred, as this is an old and sensor that does not have that much latitude in the first place. But this is just, I wanted to show you some of the things I've found out and I'm using and testing out now. So, and this is shot with the really cheap Sigma 70-300 and using also the Viltrox speed booster. And as I did not have an ND neutral density filter with me, I had to use them. I think it's F16, so there is probably quite a lot of diffraction already in a small sensor, so this isn't optimal. This is part of a time lapse, so it is one of from this scene. I think hundreds or thousands of images. So, but okay, let's start with the edit. This is something okay, I'm not really I don't have a specific workflow for scene referred yet, but I show you things I find interesting and find that I liked and how they function. Check out my display referred or the older edits. But I usually start with the tone equalizer just to, if I want to highlight some of the areas or take down some of the areas. So I think I'll take a bit down from the shadow part. So I want, in the video it's going to be a time lapse, so I want the structure to keep and to, so the movement of the water comes forward in it also. So just slight changes. And something I've always done with the display referred workflow is I use contrasting tools and find a balance this way. And I use the same principle here also. So I use soften and sharpening and more colors and less colors, and yeah, okay. But first some slight changes with tone equalizer. Then this tool, I absolutely love this tool. This is one of the scene referred tools, color balance. This is so effective. You can, with brilliance, you can work with the highlights and shadows in an interesting way. And it's really powerful, this one. So I'm just working with the base colors. So I'm taking down a bit from the, and as here also I'm doing different things with different layers, so there's some contrast in the whole thing. So if I put down some colors in this shadow part, I can use then saturation to in the opposite direction. But I'm not with the old my workflows on my presets in the display referred, so I could completely I knew what to do in every, if I wanted to do something, I was quite confident that how I could do it. This is still, I don't really understand the complexities of this scene referred, but I enjoy the results I get from at least a couple of these tools. And this is very powerful, this brilliance tool. You can do a lot with the shadows and highlights with this also. So if I prefer used different tools for the handle shadows and highlights. And here I can use the color for shadows and highlights also, like the tone equalizer. So it's a bit different way of working, but you get really nice results. this color balance RGB is a really powerful module. And then after that I usually, this is also another one I absolutely love. I don't understand a bit how it functions first, because I've read the manual about it, but I don't really get, but it does something magical, this one, this diffuse and sharpen. In the display referred workflow I used soften and high pass and local contrast in different blending options and modes to do the similar things I do with this one, Diffuse and Sharpen. So we can check out the older display referred edits and compare them. But if I understand correctly, so these orders are like from shadow to highlights part. I'm not really sure about this, but as I said before, and I've done already years and years, I do contrasting things, and it works here also. Just trying out what makes the image pop. So I don't. If I understand correctly, these are really complex processes that try to show you the exponentially larger color and lightness information that's in the scene, in the raw file here in the display. So, and these are quite subtle shade changes, but you can get some really beautiful effects with these, just playing around with these. And this I did with, as I mentioned before, with soft and high pass and sharpness stuff and local contrast. So I'm probably not using this the way it should be used, but that's the beauty with photo edit and free and open source software. Find the way you like to use them, and if you get great results, that's the way you should use them. So just showing here some starting points for you to try out the scene referred workflow. And that's not bad. So in principle, with 2 or 3 tools, Diffuse and Sharpen and Color Balance RGB, I did what? No, it's not really the same. I should use masks and things and have different modules to get the specific approach I got with display referred. But in principle, a quick edit with just Diffuse and Sharpen, Color Balance, and some tone equalizer. And one thing I use a lot is also the color tones. This was a part of my display referred workflow, a big part. So I used for color, I used LVA module with blending options and color zones a lot. So, and this, I think the sun is quite perhaps a little bit too much. So I think we'll take down some saturation from the yellow parts and red parts. We want some more in the blues here. Something like that. So this was a really quick edit just to show you a couple of tools I find very powerful and interesting. Diffuse and Sharpen and Balance RGB. So if you, this is the way it looked before and after the edits. So just a quick introduction to scene referred workflow. Explore Darktable and the scene referred workflow.